Huh?
What a password. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Stephanie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What can I help you with?
Well, basically the same stuff has been going on as last time we talked about. I've had some changes of heart, but it's difficult for me to make switches just because of how things with me interacting with men kind of affect the dynamic of my energy. Um, so I'm kind of having some difficulty with that.
Tell me more about the changes that you've been making.
Well, last time we spoke, I mentioned that I had been experiencing a lot of stress around men and dating, and it occurred to me that when I'm dating, I end up getting stressed out in a way that makes me manic, and it makes it hard to focus on school. And so I decided it might be better to stop focusing on dating entirely.
So you've recognized that dating for you is a distraction in other areas of your life, and you've stopped dating at the moment.
Yeah, it is a big distraction, and it also affects my behavior. It doesn't just distract me from school, but it literally kind of makes me like act like a different person, and I make really bad decisions that are self-destructive, and so I decided to take a step back. I haven't entirely given up dating because part of the problem is if I don't have that manic energy, then I just end up becoming that like constant low level of stressed out again.
So you want to continue experiencing dating, dating different people, and also you want to have a sense of control over how those interactions can look like.
Yeah, there isn't very much control. I don't really want to date. I just don't want to be bored. And I get really bored when I'm just focused on school. Um, it's kind of a lonely life to not be out there like meeting people. But when I'm meeting people, I have less control, not over just the interactions, but my own self. And it causes a lot of problems with things that should be a priority.
So you're looking to fill a void and also wanting to make changes in what you want to do with your life moving forward.
Yeah, I definitely get lonely, and it, I'm okay with being alone, but loneliness is a lot harder for me to deal with. And um, it's like I need the distractions, or I feel like I need the distractions. But really, what I need to do is focus and be okay with being bored and lonely for a while because technically it is easier than being manic and
Mhm.
frustrated and distracted.
Yeah, so you want to figure out ways to deal with being alone and being okay with being alone without the use of outside resources to make you happy.
Yeah, I actually hadn't thought of finding ways to deal with the loneliness. I just felt like I would have to deal with it.
Mhm.
Um, but it didn't really occur to me to develop any coping skills for it.
If you could picture a day where your your like day-to-day basis is something meaningful to you, what could that look like?
Well, ironically, as boring as school is for me, it would include that because my education is meaningful. Um, I mean, it's directly connected to like my entire life and giving meaning to my life and my career.
Mhm.
So it would include that, and probably interactions with people I actually care about, like my mom or a friend. Um, Going to the park or going for a hike or something like that.
You're really motivated by being active, not only just in relationships, but also life in general, and wanting that for yourself.
Yeah, I do like to be active. I'm pretty introverted, so I need a lot of alone time, but I think that because I'm introverted, I feel like if I'm not dating, then I become isolated because I don't have a ton of friends. And if I'm isolated, then I'm not getting any of that life action that I crave. So dating is sort of not just to fill a void, but to provide me with something that I haven't really figured out how to do on my own.
So you'd like to have a social life and also have more meaningful relationships.
Yeah, real meaningful relationships would be nice. I would like to have friends that I'm closer with, and um, a social life would be like amazing. So I would like to entirely stop dating and focus on school, and if I had to put some energy into something other than dating and school, then creating a social structure for myself would be a lot healthier.
Yeah. So last week we talked about what a healthy relationship with a guy looks like for you. What do you think, like a healthy social life with friends, family, or whoever you find meaningful? What would that look like for you?
Seeing a friend at least like once a week. I'll go like weeks or months without talking to anybody but my mom. So I would say getting out at least once a week and doing something fun that has nothing to do with, you know, having someone validate me.
Yeah.
But it's really just contributing to a good relationship, a good friendship.
You want to find activities that are meaningful and something actually worth your time, to where you can feel happy without this other guy or
Yeah.
whoever it is you're dating.
Yeah, definitely. I tend to view men as kind of like a pathway to like happiness, but it's very temporary, and it's not doing me any good right now. So, yeah, you're very right.
It sounds like you're willing to start making a different choice when it comes to the way you spend your time. You talked about wanting to start hanging out with friends and quantifying the amount of time you'd like to and what that can look like for you. You also talked about spending more time with people who hold more meaning to you, like your mom, and maybe along the way even a guy that holds those same values that you listed.
Yeah, I would like to deliberately stop dating and focus either solely on school or focus on school and then let other real interactions take place naturally and organically, as opposed to, trying to get out there and meet dudes. It's not very organic.
You have your priorities.
Yeah, I do have my priorities, and I'm gonna start focusing on them. I've cut out most of the distractions. I just have a few more things I need to figure out, like cancellations, basically, like how to politely cancel on people. So
yeah. So just to summarize what we've been talking about, it sounds like you've recognized that there is a pattern for you when it comes to looking for meaningless relationships with men. And it also sounds like you want to find outside resources or outside social connections that meet those similar criteria but have more meaning to you. And it sounds like you recognize that school is important, and also relational interactions with others that don't require dating.
Yeah, that's all very accurate and definitely things I'm going to focus on more.
Awesome.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, I should probably stop there.